guys, and welcome to the Big Build. Back in episode 31, we drove along this branch line from the main city station to Ashton. At that point, Ashton was the last station on the line, but over the last 3 episodes, the line's been extended and is now complete. Today, we'll start off at Perran Sands, which is the new terminus on the line. View the train using the fixed cameras passing through first Pine Valley Station, then climb up the mountain to Brightview Halt, where we get a great view of Brightview Point, and again onto Ashton. We'll then come back down in the cab of the train and end our journey where we began. Perran Sands will also house another narrow gauge line, which will start off in the harbour, skirt up the cliff to meet the coastal route and off up into the hills. This line will be used to transport fish from the harbour and slate from the mine. It has already been started, and you can also see 2 test engines. The first in the harbour and the other near the junction where the coastal route and this route part. If you look into the harbour right now, you'll see some smoke, and that is the first little narrow gauge engine. And off we go. At this end, it's a very basic, just a turnaround command being used. And what a view! If I was a holiday maker and I come here and saw that view, I'd be very happy. Mr. Horsey watching the trains go by. Now if you look above the building in front of you, the signal box there, you'll see some carriages. Now they're actually in a siding, and also when we pass it you'll notice there's a brand new little turntable. Oh, and off we go. Now the siding and turntable are just for the scenery. They don't want to be used on this line. We've just got some tank engines here, and we've actually now got one diesel running up and down as well. There we go, there's our little turntable. The 2 little LMS trains which you saw running to Ashton on the first video have now been removed, I'm afraid. They were causing some script errors. So I've made these, it's pretty much just a British Rail stroke DWR line now. We could probably have more LMS stuff maybe on the Probably on the main line, maybe round here on the coastal route. And there's the narrow gauge line. It's made its way up the side of the cliff there. Originally we were going to put a standard gauge railway down the area, down to the harbour, but I think it would be nice to actually have a narrow gauge around here somewhere. It was requested, and I think it's a good destination for it. And there's our junction for the coastal route. And that's the moment, is the end of the narrow gauge railway. Just for testing at the moment. But off we go. There's another junction just coming up for the coastal route as well, so trains can go both ways. Funny enough, this is the most GPU, or one of the most GPU intensive camera angles we can have. We hear a cow in the background. There's some sheep, little sheepers. And there's a bus going over the bridge. Will it reach the bridge before we do? There it is, it did. And a car just behind it, trying to get by. Just like real life, really, isn't it? So very close now to Pine Valley Station. Funny, that's so cool because there's lots of pine trees everywhere. And it houses a tiny little village. And lots of tourists go walking up in the hills. So it's quite a popular station. Well, off we go again. And a poor engine now, so get up the very steep part of the mountain. So this is the start of the incline. Driver there watching us on the camera. But if it's 9/6, there must have been a huge camera planted there to film this. Very windy here. You can see how steep it is from this angle. But it starts to even out now. Oh, another train. Now, in a moment, you'll get your first glimpse of Brightview Peak and, in a sec, Brightview Waterfall as well. I think it's around the next bend. So this is Brightview Waterfall, just passing it now. Don't worry, we'll get a better view in a second. There we go. And above it is Brightview Peak. We'll get a few more glimpses of that in a sec as well. Now we're near to the top of the mountain range here. There's Brightview Peak again. And the stately manor of Brightview. See, we've gone with the name here. Off up into the distance, you just saw it, is actually Brightview Halt, and that's our next destination. But our best view yet of Brightview Peak. Right, and we are here. As you can see, it's very desolate around here, but we still get quite a few tourists getting off and walking up to the mountain there. Still a good couple of hours walk, I imagine, from here. Well, off we go again, and off to our final station of Ashton. Of course, the line actually continues, but if you want to watch that, then go watch episode 31 and you'll see the rest of the line. Over we go, the unknown viaduct, hasn't been named yet. Some sheep down the bottom and some fields and some houses down there. And this is where we start to leave the mountain range. Couple more corners, then round to the right and back into the hills again. I won't quite say civilization, it's just a small village of Ashton. Very small population. Slowing down, getting ready for the very sharp end. This is where the tourists say goodbye to the mountains. And they wonder how they can hear the sound of the turntable in the big city, which is so far away. And wonder how loud it must be actually in the city. That was one of the main lines trains probably turning around. And this is Ashton. And when the signal lets us, we'll go and park there. Well, we'll stop for a second and we get off the train. Probably putting a little bit too much solder on there, considering he has to stop in a second. There's that lady, she loves to look out and watch every train which goes by. Now last time you were here, we're actually on the other platform, because that's the only one being used, but now both are. We join the video in the cab of one of our two diesels looking at the other diesel. Now that other diesel only goes as far as Ashton. Its job is just to go from the big city station to Ashton and back. Now this one however goes from the city all the way back down to Perran Sands. Now, due to YouTube compression, now the view might get around the rails at the distance there may well be very blurred. Now, for me, they're perfect, but unfortunately, YouTube does compress the video very harshly, and so anything moving like this is going to be well, you see artifacts, you see lots of things. It's a pity, so you won't get quite the view I'd like you to see. And it's quite frustrating actually after the work put in, but here we go. Hopefully it's not going to be too bad. So as you can see, I put in speed markers everywhere. Now without that, this train was actually zooming around this corner. Funny enough, as you saw going up, it slows down quite nicely. That was without the any sort of thing telling it to slow down. But going back, it just zoomed around here, so I figured, yep. So I put them on the whole line now. Certain places it's allowed to go up to 60, other places down to 20. Now, as a route, we're probably going to do a few steam trains, a few LMS, a few BR, a few GWR, and some and a few diesels, I think, as well. So I think it's nice to have the sort of 1960s sort of mix there. So just like before, we're going straight back to Ashton. Our next, go back to Ashton. We start from Ashton and go back to Perran Sands. Our next station is Brightview Halt. But first we go over the unnamed viaduct. And if you do have a name for it, then you know, let me know. Isn't it interesting, the shadow on the rails there, and it goes up so far? It seems to do on all rail types, not just because this is a different one on the bridge than it is on the actual rail, so that's just how it sort of works, I suppose. Another one of our fantastic steam engines. And here we are at Brightview Halt again. You get a different view riding the cab than you do from the side camera. It's like there's two men there next to the car and the two workers. You don't notice them from the side camera, which is over onto the left hand side here. And it's also very useful when you're making the route, actually, to run up and down it, because you, not just with the side cameras, but actually in the cab as well, to actually get a better view of what's actually happening. And just like on the rest of the route, we use a little bit of clutter FX, a little bit of turf FX, the grass, the moving grass, and we use some splines of grass as well. And that ding 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 means another mainline railway train is actually going on the turntable. Especially it annoys me that we can actually hear all the way down here. It does also make me slightly less worried that the trains are actually piled up there and there's something gone wrong. Because it means every time you hear it, it just means another train's gone through it, and the previous one's gone off and got the carriages and off it's gone. Making that work was difficult. Now you can actually see that running in another previous episode. I think it's something like 28, something like that. I'll put links to both the other drive to Ashton, which is episode 31, and to the episode at the end of this one. There's actually Brightview waterfall to our right. You can't really see it in the cab though. What you can see is the smoke from another engine car at the Now when we actually build the main line, we've actually got to get the main line down to this level as well. So we're going to have to do that over a much longer point. I don't think we can have a main line with 4 tracks going down at this steep. Well, there it goes again. You start to listen for it, you really do. Now we're leaving the mountain range, we'll go back into the valley again, so this is Pine Valley again. I think it's very atmospheric here. I do like this. The trees look very black against the sun. And well, here we are at Pine Valley again. I think, as I said at the beginning, I do hope that isn't too blurry for you on the track ahead. But you know, checking the video for me, there's no problems. But I do know from test videos that it has been very blurry. I've done my best, guys, so if it is, I do apologise, but there's very little I can do, fortunately. Honestly, this is actually the second version of the video I actually posted. And the first I wasn't very happy with, because you may have seen my message on Twitter and Facebook, and actually I posted on YouTube comments as well saying that the video would be late this week. I just wasn't happy with the amount of blurring that YouTube had put on there. They had really compressed it. But the route, though, it's going to become available very soon. I think in about a week's time I'm going to post it, so that's, you have to leave it an extra 4 days. And at that point you're probably going to be searching for Unknown Plays, which is my username for Trainz, Unknown Plays, and then Big Build. I'll post a very quick video on here when it actually is up and online, and then you guys can actually download it. It is a beta, it's going to have stuff wrong with it, but that's why I want you guys to tell me what's wrong, doesn't work, etc. Now the idea is we're going to get the route completely finished, and it'll be fully free to download. We'll do some free sessions with it, and then I'm going to hopefully make some paid for sessions, play sessions as well. We're not talking very much, £1 or £2. But the initial sessions, the ones which are the onboards and stuff like that, and there may be one play session as well, will be free. There's our little narrow gauge engine again. I can't wait to actually get the line out to some sort of slate mine. There'll be a little station as well along there, which so we got the narrow gauge railway with a little platform in between there and the main gauge one, where freight can be transported from one to the other. But I do hope you guys like the route. I'm fairly happy with it. There are bits I'm not sure about yet, and if you've watched me for a while, you know at times I've been very frustrated with it, but I've enjoyed building it and I'm going to continue to enjoy building it. But after this episode I'm going to take a break for a few weeks. More work commitments than anything fun, unfortunately, but then we're going to start maybe in a live stream, because we did a live stream the other week. That was my first one for about a year, doing Planet Zoo. But I think we could actually live stream building the first parts of the main line, actually. So I think we could do a Trainz a big build live stream, I think, and that could also still be cut into a proper episode as well. That might be fun to do, actually. Then you guys can actually give me some feedback while I'm building it. Do you hear the birds? I put a sound effect in there. There's quite a few sound effects actually on the route. As you go in, you might hear a church as well. I put that in. And near the harbour, I put a couple in down there as well to make it sort of louder, sort of hustle and bustle. Now, if you do want to see the harbour or the town from the harbour, I think the previous episode probably has some good shots of that. That's a build episode, but at the end you get a chance to have a look around. I think that speed sign on the right is a little too close to the track. I'm going to have to probably put something, maybe an invisible one in. Because I think that would hit a train. So things you're always noticing when you're doing this. Well guys, that is it for this episode. I do hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like it, please press the subscribe button. And if you press that ding dong bell button, it even tells me when I put more stuff on. Once again, thank you for watching. Cheers guys. Bye bye.